What's going on, guys? Evan Preco here, and you are watching the SG1 Sports Big Ten Football Channel. In this video, I'm going to recap the Nebraska versus South Alabama game. To start things off, we'll go over Nebraska's team stats. Adrian Martinez was the starting quarterback, of course, entering year 2. We want to see a lot of improvement from him over year 1. He went 13 of 22 for 178 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Dedrick Mills got the start at running back. He had 15 carries for 44 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jack Stoll was their leading receiver. He had 3 receptions for 66 yards. Nebraska only had 98 total rushing yards and only 276 total yards of offense. For South Alabama, Cephas Johnson was the starting quarterback. He went 19 of 34 for 231 yards, 2 touchdowns, but also 2 interceptions. Trey Minter was the leading rusher. He had 10 carries for 37 yards, and Kawan Baker was their leading receiver. He had 4 receptions for 59 yards. They only had 83 total rushing yards, and they had 314 total yards of offense. Now, to recap the game, Nebraska opened up the game strong by scoring a 1-yard touchdown run on their opening drive by Dedrick Mills, going up 7-0 3 minutes into the game. A few drives later, South Alabama answered with a 3-yard touchdown run by Cephas Johnson with 5.5 to go in the first quarter. Nebraska would retake the lead with another Dedrick Mills 1-yard touchdown run to go up 14-7 with 9 minutes to go in the half. And Nebraska would actually miss a short field goal right before halftime, and they would end the half up only 14-7. Nebraska's defense started the second half hot when Eric Lee Jr. intercepted Johnson and took it 38 yards for a touchdown. And then immediately on the ensuing punt, J.D. Spielman returned the punt 76 yards for a touchdown, and Nebraska went up 28-7 with 11 minutes left in the third quarter, so they really exploded it at the beginning of the second half. 2 drives later, Johnson threw a 9-yard touchdown pass to Davin Flennard to make the score 28-14. After an interception, Johnson threw a 15-yard touchdown pass to Cameron Taylor to put South Alabama back in the game 28-21. On the first play of the fourth quarter, Johnson was stripped and Nebraska's Alex Davis recovered the ball in the end zone for a touchdown, extending Nebraska's lead 35-21. Neither team would end up scoring again, and Nebraska won the game 35-21. Now, my initial thoughts and reaction to this, Nebraska was a 36-point favorite heading into this game, and they only won by 14. So obviously, I would have to imagine most Husker fans are not necessarily pleased with this type of performance, especially offensively. When I look at the team, one thing that we looked at during the offseason, and we talked about Nebraska a lot on this channel, we talked about how in a lot of these games we would see Nebraska score a lot of points, but also give up a lot of points. And we didn't really see that today. We kind of saw the exact opposite. Now, Nebraska's defense, yes, they gave up 21 points, but they played very well, in my opinion. They forced, I think, 5 turnovers, 3 interceptions, and 2 fumbles, and 2 of the turnovers were returned for touchdowns. So Nebraska's defense, and they got some crucial stops at key points too. I think overall they played very well. They got a lot of pressure in the backfield, a lot of stuffed runs behind the line of scrimmage, and a couple of sacks. Offensively, I cannot say that Nebraska played well. I can't at all. You look at the 35 points. First off, in my opinion, I think 35 points total versus South Alabama is not enough for the expectations that this offense wants to produce. And when you think about it, 21 of those points came on 2 defensive touchdowns and a punt return touchdown. So really, the offense only scored 14 points against South Alabama. Adrian Martinez, in my opinion, did not play well. And you have to remember, this guy is starting the season. He's, I don't want to say a Heisman candidate, but he's getting a lot of Heisman talk. And this is just not the way you want to open up the season against South Alabama, going 13 of 22, only 178 yards, no touchdowns, 1 pick. Overall, he didn't play very well, in my opinion, and there were times where Nebraska really struggled to move the ball, and when they did, it would get wiped out by penalties. To talk about South Alabama, I thought overall they played very well. They read Nebraska very well. Their defense covered the receivers very well. There were quite a few times where I would see Adrian Martinez just kind of dancing in the pocket with really nowhere to go. He'd have to scramble out, and he would end up throwing the ball away. And he even got sacked quite a few times. There was quite a bit of pressure that they put on him. And a lot of that can go to the fact that Nebraska has a somewhat younger offensive line compared to what they had last year. But I thought, overall, South Alabama played very nice, coming to an atmosphere that Memorial Stadium has in Lincoln, and to not get blown out and to play defensively play pretty well. I think that they really made a statement about themselves. Um, for Nebraska, right now they're ranked 24th. I think they're going to drop out because you have to remember they were favored to win by 36 points. They win by 14, and they don't look good offensively. I think that they're going to drop out. Next week they play Colorado, and that would be a good bounce back win on the road against another Power 5 team. Good win to get before they start Big Ten play. So we'll see what happens next week if they can fix a lot of the issues. And I've said this in other videos. First game of the year, there's going to be a lot of rust, a lot of inexperience, a lot of identity finding, a lot of ways to find out how good or how bad you are. And Scott Frost, I still think is an amazing coach, so he'll find things to work on during film and practice this week, and they'll get ready for Colorado. But, at the end of the day, a win is a win. I've said that too in other videos, and they should at least have their heads up going into next week, knowing, hey, they're 1-0. It's better than what they started off with last year when they had the game rained out and they started off 0-6. They already got their first win in the season, and now they're going to go play a revenge game against what used to be their arch rivals in one of their arch rivals in the Big 12 in Colorado. So we'll see how that goes. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. How do you feel about Nebraska's performance, especially offensively? How do you feel about South Alabama's performance? How do you feel about Nebraska's defensive performance? Do you think that overall it was a disappointment because they gave up 21 points, or that it was a major success because they forced 5 turnovers and scored 2 touchdowns? So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Please remember to leave a like on this video, subscribe to this channel, subscribe to our main SG1 Sports channel as well. Thank you again for watching. Have a great day, everybody.